It's Table Talk Thursdays with the Tres Amigas, Delene from Yoshea Lux, Laura, the Camo Chica, and Dee Dee from Dee Dee Bean. Let's talk luxury, contemporary, travel, and any other current luxury hot topics.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another Tres Amigas Table Talk Thursday. Happy Thursday. I am Laura the Camo Chica.
I'm Dee Dee from Dee Dee Bean.
I'm Delene with Yoshea Lux.
Thank you so much for joining us, and happy National Hispanic Heritage Month. When we are filming today's video, it's actually National Hispanic Heritage Month. So this is why you see us wearing a Mexican dress or Mexican themed blouses. And also behind me, you see a lot of the Dia de los Muertos, of the Day of the Dead. And today's video is actually being uploaded on Halloween. So happy Halloween. And so we have a little bit of the decor behind us because in our culture it is very traditional for us to prepare for All Souls Day and All Saints Day, which is November 1st and November 2nd. And it's traditional that we do like a little altar, an altar, where we have mementos or we have pictures of our departed loved ones. And so Dee Dee and Delene have brought pictures of their loved ones, and so you'll see some behind me, and then also pan over to an altar that we have another altar set over here on the side with some other actual things that were significant to our departed loved ones. And you'll see some marigolds. You see a lot of sugar skulls like you see here in this candle. And so this is just like our culture, and so we wanted to share a little bit about that with you today. But also we have a very fun topic that's kind of our little twist on the Day of the Dead. But just to give you a little bit of insight into what this symbolism is for us, we actually kind of do some days prior to, leading up to the Day of the Dead or All Souls Day. And it's very traditional for me and my family, where we used to actually go to the cemetery and leave flowers. And it wasn't until I saw the movie Coco that I was like, oh my God, there's like all of this that really goes on, you know, not just going to the cemetery. So I wanted to share with you really quick the days leading up to All Souls Day and what they kind of represent and what we do in preparation to receive our loved ones that come and visit us during this time. So on October 28th, we do light a candle. So the first candle is lit and a white flower is placed to welcome the lost souls. And so sometimes people might have some incense or salt. You'll see like the flags here, like the papel picado, which is what we call like these like Mexican flags. So we have a lot of decorations that are put out during this time on this day. Then on October 29th, the next candle is lit and a glass of water is placed for the lonely and forgotten souls. So we'll set out a glass of water for the souls that may have been forgotten. And then on October 30th, another candle is lit and a glass of water and a piece of bread is placed. So it's dedicated to those who left without eating in a tragic way or fatal accident. So this is why sometimes on altars, you'll see a lot of the Mexican bread. Sometimes people will place a beer as well, like just different things that's representative of that particular friend or loved one. And then on the 31st, another candle is lit, and then a glass of water and a piece of bread are placed as well. And then they'll add some fruit. So they might have some oranges, some mandarins, some guavas. And then this is dedicated to our ancestors and children that are in limbo or unbaptized, right? So very significant all these days, right? So that's on Halloween today, October 31st. And then on November 1st, this is also known as All Saints Day. So this is for the souls that have died too soon as children arrive. And then this is time where we place some sweet food, some candy to the altar joined with toys. So that's some of the significance that's placed out on that day for All Saints Day. And then we come to November 2nd for All Souls Day or Day of the Dead. And this is the Day of the Faithful Departed. This is when this is the day where adults visit their loved ones. So all the food, moles, tamales, the beer, the favorite foods that they had, more sweet bread or Oreos or whatever the person loved, we place this out on the altar. So these are like the pleasures, cigarettes, cigars, and all of these important important objects are then placed amongst the altar with the pictures of our loved ones. And so this is just the days leading up to All Souls Day. So I just thought we thought it would be fun to share this with you as part of our culture, especially since we're in this theme, and share with you images of what we have here behind us. So we'll share that with you so you can see the mementos that we brought for the specific people that we have that have left us, but we remember them and carry them in our hearts forever, right? Who did you bring with you today, Didi?
So I brought my mom. My mom passed away from abdominal cancer, and so I brought her along. I also have my father-in-law. I brought a little memento for him. He was a Dallas Cowboys fan, so I brought him some Dallas Cowboys stuff. I brought my abuelita, brought a little purse to signify her, and also brought my Momo, my other grandmother. I bought a lipstick over on the counter because she always had lipstick. She always had lipstick. And my dad, he was a big fan of the sweetbreads. He always had to have something when he was going to bed.
Yeah.
So it's his representing him.
Oh,
and I did too. I think we have our pets, because for me the pets too.
Yes.
Yeah. That was one of the things in Coco. I was so happy to see the pets, the dogs. I was like, oh. So I was like, okay. So I brought our pets too.
Yes. If you guys haven't seen that movie Coco, you do need to see it because it is so good. And Laura was saying, and Didi was saying that it's somewhat, I guess it is exactly how it goes.
Especially traditional in Mexico.
Yeah.
Traditional in Mexico, where they do hang out and camp out like at the cemeteries, things like that. But it's all of that, and remember, again, really preparing those big altars like we saw in their photos and everything. Yes. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yes. Who did you bring with you today?
Well, I brought my mom here. She passed, my youngest daughter's 25. So she passed a week before and my youngest daughter was born. So she passed 25 years ago at 55. And I think I brought this up on my channel. So she's from Okinawa, Japan. And I brought that up on one of my videos. And in Okinawa, where I came from, we celebrate it completely different from how they celebrate it traditionally. So ours is called Obon. And in Japan, it's important to celebrate them in, I guess, in July. July is in Okinawa. That's when Okinawa actually celebrates it.
Okay.
And in Japan, they either celebrate it in mid-August or July. It depends on what region that you're from. And what we do is we're paying respect to our dead, and it's kind of a neat thing because your whole family comes to your home wherever they have the picture or where we decide we're going to celebrate it. And it was always at our house in my bedroom because we had like a shrine in my room, and we had a picture of my grandma, and all the family and friends would come over and they would bring their favorite dishes, they would bring their fruit, all these different kind of fruits and desserts, and they would leave it there and pray for a couple of hours. And Buddhist is what usually celebrates this. And so my mom, when she was younger, she was Buddhist, and she's not anymore, but Buddhist is the one that usually celebrates it just like that. And I guess that's about it.
That's interesting because we figured, it's nice knowing about how different cultures
Yeah.
celebrate, right? Because in the time frame that of when you
and
do it.
also we would go to the cemetery and clean everything up.
Yeah.
All the family would go. We would clean everything up, and my grandma was actually buried in a tomb. So a lot of the Japanese people were buried in tombs, and they put other family members in there as well. And it's actually a scary looking thing. I remember when I was younger, I thought it looked pretty scary because for miles you can just see little tombs,
Yeah.
And and when I say little, they weren't really that little because it was enough to put, a lot of your family members in there. But we would go and hang out there and just bring food there as well. Of course, my mom always cried, and the family would cry. But it was a really neat thing for us as children to watch and see and experience. And also at that time, what the adults would do is give each kids. They would put it in a certain envelope, and they would give each kids money, and it would be in this real pretty envelope,
Like a red envelope, but different than a red envelope.
yeah, because the red is Chinese.
For Chinese New Year.
And Japanese, it was different. It was just a cute little envelope for kids, and they would just stick money in there, and we would get money from all the adults. So we always enjoyed that
part.
Always, yeah.
How fun.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's neat knowing, the difference in that. That's really interesting.
And also when they celebrate it, people would literally take like 3 days off because it's celebrated for 3 days, and it wasn't considered a holiday over there. They considered it a festival.
Oh,
okay.
Which was really neat too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and the celebration, they really did the celebration part.
Yes.
I like the fact that there's the similarities. It's like you bring in their favorite foods, you bring in their favorite items, which is what we put, present on the altars. Favorite things that remind you of the person or what have you. So it's isn't it? I just find it so interesting how we can be so separated from land-wise,
right.
but yet these things are so
have
similar.
so many similarities, which is really neat. Yeah.
Because even because even if you think back then, they didn't have internet, they didn't have things like that. So it's like, how did that happen? How did that happen?
That even though we're different nationalities, different cultures, but you still have something that is somewhat similar that you still kind of do a little different. I would have loved a little sobrecito, a little envelope of some money.
Yeah, we always got money, which was awesome.
That is too cute.
I loved it.
That is too cute. And then also, Delene also brought this cute little shirt, and so we have it here because it's got the little sugar skull here. So you want to talk about this?
So my husband is an Austin fireman, and he's actually chief there in Austin. And one of the guys in his station he was Latino, and he wanted to design this T-shirt for this month
for National Hispanic Heritage Month.
for National Hispanic Month, and I just thought that was the neatest thing, and it is actually a very cool T-shirt. So my husband bought the whole family this, and we just passed them all out.
I love it. It says the Austin Bomberos. So Bomberos is firemen in Spanish, and it's so cute because when we were kids growing up, my little cousins, they're like my sisters because there was four. I have 4 female cousins, and so we all are like similar in age. And so we would go out like camping and stuff, and so they had a cousin on like I think their mom's side, and so like if one of us fell or got hurt or whatever, the little girl she would scream, "La policía, la ambulancia, woo woo!" She was screaming at the police. She's like, "The police, the firemen, woo woo!" Like come for help. So it's so cute. I love this. I thought it was so cute.
So I just got this like about week and a half ago to 2 weeks, and we've been all wearing ours. We would wear it and then wash it. My husband would wear it and wash it, and all the kids are wearing it. So I just thought that was neat.
It's a cool design. I love it. I love it.
It's a very cool design.
Super cute. I love it.
So the Austin firemen that a lot of the firemen will actually design a lot of the shirts.
Yeah. Okay.
And whoever has a good idea or whatever is, they'll vote on it. But because it was
the Hispanic Heritage
Heritage Month, he he did this, and of course everybody agreed on it and they loved it. I mean, this is just amazing. Like I saw this and I told my husband, you're gonna have to buy. Yeah.
The little medic sign.
Mhm.
It's the coolest thing. When she showed it up, I was like, I said, are you showing me a grunt style t-shirt? She was like, no, they designed this for the firemen at the Austin. I was like, this is so cool. It's like, you gotta bring it so we can show
and
it.
you can see the Fireman Maltese cross right there that the skull is sitting on, and that just right there just looks so cool with the flames coming out.
It's the coolest
Well
thing.
done.
It is.
I'd buy a shirt like that.
I know. I would too. It's the coolest thing. Thank you for bringing it. I love it. A little backdrop.
You're welcome.
So I have my father with me. He's behind me here, and then I actually have some pictures here, and then I have pictures of my husband's parents because we lost them as well a couple of years ago. And so my father's been passed on. I think like it'll be 30 years next year because I was 21 when he passed away. And so I have those two pictures here behind me and then on the side. So that's who I have here on our little Day of the Dead altar. But like you said, when you said that you would kind of go out to the cemetery and then they have the tombs, you know, my mom is religious of going every year to Mexico on All Souls Day. So if I was in school, if it fell during the week when I was in school, I had to take a day off because, and we would drive, and because she's on the border town of the side of, you know, the border town in Texas, and so we would drive to Acuña, and so this way, because she had her mom and her dad and her grandmother, they were all, you know, buried there because they passed before I was born. And so it was every year, and so we would have to drive over there, we would stay at my grandmother's house, and then the next day we would cross over, and then she would go to the floral shop, and there she is buying the gladiolas, like all of the flowers. And then there's a lot of little kids out at the cemetery that they've got their little shovels and all that stuff because you would hire them to go and clean the lot, because also it was like you had some tombs, but then it's very common where you have them like risen above, almost like if you're in Louisiana,
it's like a little tomb. It's like a little cement
like a big block, and they're in there, a couple of bodies or what have you. So yes. And so
it's kind of scary to
I know. And so we, so every year, she is religious and going. And so now she goes and she puts flowers on my dad's grave. And so then she'll cross the border, and then, cause he's buried on the US side. And then she goes and puts flowers for him and my grandmother and my great aunt. And then she'll cross the border, and then she goes and, you know, has the lapida, her little lot.
Today.
And so thankfully, and I actually haven't gone in a few years, especially as an adult. I haven't gone, especially to Mexico in 15 years probably. I haven't crossed over. They go all the time. And so this year falls on a Saturday. And so I said, okay, I'll join you this year, because my father's birthday is actually in November, and I said, okay, this way I'm off, and now that David is out of the military, and we don't have to worry about asking for approvals and all that stuff. Yes, because when you're in the military, you can't. And then Mexico is
So do you go on their birthdays or the day that they passed, or when do you go?
No, my mom, I don't, especially, and it's hard for me because of the fact that my father's buried out of town, and my grandmother and everybody else, and so I haven't gone. So I feel bad, right? Because I haven't gone to put flowers, and so, but my mom is faithful to go. She always just goes on All Souls Day, so it's just a yearly thing.
It's just a yearly thing.
November the 2nd.
Yeah. My husband will go and he'll put flowers on his parents' grave regularly because they're here, right? So I always wish. I don't know why she chose to bury him. I don't know why she chose to bury him over there, but she did. She bought all the lots there.
Is that where he's from? That's why.
Yeah, and my grandmother was still alive at the time, and I think she bought extra plots so that they could be buried there as well, but they ended up getting buried in another family little lot or whatever. But no, she is faithful to go every year. So I was telling her the other day, I was like, okay, it falls on a weekend, I'm going to go with you so that this way we can, you know, she's already got the agenda plan. She's like, okay, we're going to stay on base, and then we're going to go, you know, we're going to do this, and then we're going to, but I was like, okay. And so I'm kind of excited for David to also see, because I always talk about it, and so at least this way he can at least see, experience it, you know, because they were used to kind of crossing the border like in Laredo, and then this will be crossing the border in Del Rio and then going over. So so I'm excited to actually go, because I haven't been in a long time. Yeah.
My mom is actually in Fort Sam.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in Fort Sam, and we actually went to go visit her there when my brothers came down, and I don't go there often, but when my brothers come down, they insist on going, so I go.
Yeah.
And every time we go, we kind of hang out there for a little bit. We pray over her, her tombstone. Actually, she's in a niche, is what she's in. So she's been cremated, and we just go over there and just pray. We touch her little tombstone, and we just pray over her. And but every time they come, we go.
Do you ever do the wreaths across America where you order a wreath to be placed on the?
I haven't, but my oldest brother, which I thought was such a neat thing, he went to Okinawa one time, and he got this coral rock, because we went to the beach all the time, and he brought it back and placed it, in her little area. And I just when he did that, I just wanted to cry, because I feel like my heart, I love where we live, but I feel like my heart so belongs over there, because I feel like that's so part of my mom. So it's really, it was kind of hard when he brought that back. I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. I hope nobody takes it, and I don't know if it's still there, because there's a bunch of little rocks, and it gets moved around, for sure. So I just want it to be there. I don't care if it gets underneath anything else, but
we things were a little different for us, and for my mom. I don't go visit her at the cemetery or anything, because she always said, my mom is just a matter of fact kind of person, and she was always, if you don't bring me flowers while I'm alive, don't bring me flowers while I'm dead. If you don't come visit me while I'm alive, don't come visit me at the cemetery, because I'm not there, I'm in heaven. And so she says, there's no need for you to come. And she told me, and she would talk little, when she started getting sick, more of her Spanish would come out more. And she would talk to me in Spanish, and she would say, Mija, don't come to the cemetery. That's not me. And so I don't go. I don't go. And my father-in-law, we would go more to visit my father-in-law, my husband, and we would take the kids and stuff. But it's like, after my mom would say that, he was like, when I go to see my dad, I don't feel like it's my dad. When we watch the Cowboys, or when we are out and about, if we go to visit people, we don't fish, but if people fish, or when he would take the kids fishing, he says, that's where I feel him. I feel him at the ocean. I feel those kinds of things. He goes, I don't feel him or her there. So the cemetery kind of stuff, I just don't do, and I know some of my family members are like, I can't believe you don't do that. And it's just,
it's different.
Everybody's different. And she just, it's like, to me, it's almost the opposite. I feel like would be betraying her going to visit her there, because she was adamant about the fact that I'm not there. I'm in heaven. You can talk to me wherever we're at.
And that's how I feel. When I feel like my brothers are more sentimental than I am, and that's weird, because I'm the female, so you would think that I would be more sensitive to certain things, but I'm not. And they're very like, no, we gotta go, and I'm like, okay, we'll go. Well, do you go? When we're not here, I said no.
Just
why not? And I'm like, because I don't need to.
Because I feel like that they're with me. I feel that they're with me. They're with me wherever we go. I don't have to go to visit you at the cemetery to be with you, because you are with me in certain spots, or I see you as a cardinal. That's why I like
the cardinal. The same thing is with us.
And so to me, I feel your spirit there, because if I want to talk to you, I can just talk to you. I can talk to you from here. Where some people are, like you say, they are very much like, they would go, like my in-laws, my mother-in-law, before she passed, she went like every weekend she went to the cemetery to go and make sure that the plot was cleaned up for my husband's sister that passed on before them. And so she, but so some are very faithful to do that, like all the time. But I just feel like I know you're with me, so I don't feel like I have to go, all the time, because their spirit is always watching over us.
And growing up, for us, like the whole thing with the Day of the Dead, the Dias de los Muertos and stuff like that, I didn't really learn about that until where I worked at. it was a seminary type of school that I worked at, and they really were into bringing everybody's culture, and it was mainly Hispanic culture and stuff. And so my supervisors, they would do that, and that's how I learned about it. And then I remember that because my mom was still alive when I worked there. She goes, "Oh, are y'all doing that stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, what is it? How come you never told me, Mom?" She goes, "Oh, we have our crazy family in Mexico that do that, spend a night at the cemeteries." Like, "Oh, we don't do that stuff. We don't do that stuff." You know? And I was like, "Okay, see, I told y'all." You know, my mom was just matter of fact. She was like, "No." But for us, it was more all about all Souls Day, All Saints Day, All Souls Day. You know, it was more about saving your little bit of a change and making sure that you do your envelopes. You know, we would put a little prayer inside of it, and then you take it to the church, and they lay it on the altar. And all month long of November, the priest would do a special prayer there. You know, and then also too, they were just prayed about the whole month of November. To her, that was important, you know, and so she would do that to her family, for her family members who passed. My grandfather had passed away when I was probably a junior, I think, in high school, and so that was something that she always did, and that was what was important to her, and that's what she wants. That's what she would like, you know. She says, you know, she goes, "You pray for me. You make sure that you know, that you keep me in your prayers and your thoughts, and you know, not this part, you know." And I guess, I mean, that's probably where I get my practicalness from, you know, because she's just kind of like that.
She's being real logical in that way, because she's gone. You can't see her, but yet you can feel her.
Yeah.
And you know, that's weird how I say that I don't have to go, but when there was a time when my ex-husband and I, after we had gotten a divorce, I thought, you know what, I'm going to move to Dallas, and I thought, I can't go.
Because your mom was buried here?
My mom was buried here, and my dad already left, and my brothers were both in Dallas. How can I leave her? So I didn't have to visit her. I just felt like, how can I leave her?
Yeah.
And I just couldn't leave. So that's probably one of the reasons why I'm still here, because of course I decided I didn't want to go there because I didn't want to leave her, and then I ended up meeting my husband, you know, and so now I don't need to leave, you know. I have him.
You know what's my mom, because towards the end of her life, she chose to be in a rehabilitation, a nursing home. She chose that, you know, which was a big controversy for our family, but that's what she wanted, because we had her in our home, but she says, I don't, you know, she had terminal cancer, so she says, I don't want to die in your home, because you know, she goes, I don't want to leave, my spirit doesn't want to be here. I mean, they're just, you know, she goes, I don't want it to be there. It needs to be in a hospital or the nursing home or something like that, not more that it's here. And so when I would drive home from work, whether I was going to visit her or whether I was going straight home, I always go down the highway that we come. And that was always just kind of where I would always call her from, because it was either real close to her, to go into her to the nursing home, or going home. And that's where we would decide, am I coming to visit you or not coming to visit you? So after she had passed, those were the hardest times. I had to finally go a different way home. And there's times where I'll pass through there, and it just happened a couple of days ago that we came by there, because we haven't gone in that direction because we don't live going that way anymore. And so when we went down there, it was like her memory instantly like came back. When I missed her, that's like that instant miss was from there. It wasn't from, you know, which is just real weird, because I'm like, it's a highway. It's a highway.
It's a memory.
Yeah, it's a memory, because I remember.
Good memory.
And I remember there was times right after she had passed, there was times where I would instinctually just go and, you know, hit the button to call her, and I was like, oh shit, who am I calling? She's dead, you know, she's dead. But yeah, that for me, that was hard. You know, that was hard to do that. But as far as moving away, I was thinking about when you're saying that, for my mom's concerned, she would be happy. She would say, don't let me hold you back.
My mom would be like that too.
Yeah, she would always tell me when she was going through her death journey, she says, you need to live your life now so that I can die. And I was like, you know, I said, Mom, that's such a hard thing for you to say. And she says, no. She goes, I can't die in peace if I know that I'm keeping you from living your life with your kids and your family, you know, because we took care of her. And so So that was one of the biggest things and so I know that she would say, if you want to move away, you whatever, go.
That's all
My dad
mothers
always
love. That's what a mom.
how they do, how they love you, how they do. My
They
dad
love
on the
you
other
so
hand,
much.
yes, that they want the best for you. But my dad would say, no, we had to stay here. And I'm like, no, I'm gone. Mom said I can go, I'm gone.
Yeah. Your mom wants you to live your life.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's what's
Live
so
it.
neat. Her love
Yeah.
is so strong
Yeah.
for you that she's
Exactly.
actually
Yeah,
telling you.
she builds such a great memory for us, and for the grandkids too. I mean, the
Yeah.
grandkids, So.
And it always seems like, at least for me, and like how it happened for my family, it's like once you lose that matriarch,
yes,
it's not the same. It's at least for me, it's not the same. The family doesn't gather as much anymore because that was the glue, really,
Yeah.
and everybody, whether there were siblings that were bickering or whatever, like you had to play neutral. And there was a house that had to be Switzerland, but we would like gather, and it's at least for me, I feel the loss, right, because of not having her and her wisdom, and she was my spiritual guide and stuff like that. But it's mourning a loss, especially when it's your mom, but then it's a matriarch of the family.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
And it's hard, like in the modern day world, from like now, because I know when she passed, everybody could look, because we're the gatekeepers. My husband's the gatekeepers of his family, and I'm the gatekeepers of my family, and everybody looked to me to fill that role. And I tried to, and I did for a while. I would try to organize everybody, but that's an exhausting thing. And I was like, and I wonder, I was like, how did Mom do it? How did she do it so gracefully to where you didn't feel like compelled that you had to go, but yet still be respected enough to where they would go visit you?
It's called a professional mom.
And she worked though too.
Yeah.
She did work. She worked. She worked a full-time job since. We were latchkey kids at kindergarten, since kindergarten. But it's just really strange because I know I couldn't feel that. I couldn't do that. I finally had to release myself and say, everybody on their own. And then, like you said, then the family falls apart, and then you feel like, oh, it's my fault. But
and some people, it's just like for me, I do make sure that I stay in contact with my family, even though we don't gather as one together anymore, but I still do my best to reach out to my cousins or my aunts or my uncle, and uncles, and just keep in contact with them to at least say, there's some that you can easily get together, like with my aunt, but then like my uncle, I'm just like, hey, happy birthday, Mary. You know what I mean? I don't forget you. You're still, whatever issues are going on, you're still my family member, and I'm respectful of that, right? Because my grandmother wouldn't want anything different.
Exactly.
She would always say, el problema que entre ellos dos, that's between them. Like whatever problem other people are having, that's their business. You stay out of it.
Right. Exactly.
But as my grandmother, she would expect me to still be, respectful and loving of those particular family members, and so I fear her more than facing God and then God saying, you did this. No, I fear my grandmother more.
That's hilarious.
Exactly. Yeah. And but it's interesting how like all of us are different, so it's nice that our cultures kind of they still kind of blend. It's like the same, there's different things, same things, but just celebrate a little bit differently. And how each of us, we all mourn differently as well. But it's just a matter of us always remembering them and keeping them in our hearts, and just doing some traditions, little things that they did, right, that still kind of like keep that memory alive, and that knowing that they are watching us from above, and we're still remembering them and doing things that they taught us to do, or say things that they would say, like certain little quirks or things that they would say or do. Like I find that either I do it or my cousins, you know what I mean? That's things that and everybody remembers certain things differently. Like, do you remember that she did? I'm like, I don't remember that. I'm like, well, I don't remember she did that. I'm like, so it's always nice when you get together. And
I don't know if it's good or bad, because sometimes I'll say something and I'm like, oh, that sounded just like my mom. That sounded just like my mom. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, oh.
Yep, I'm always saying stuff too that my mom says or my grandmother said, and David's like, "What?" I'm like, "My mother-in-law didn't say that." Oh, yes, she does. Or yes, my grandmother did. That's what she would say. Yep, exactly.
That's awesome.
So yep, so these were fun memories. So thank you, amigas, for bringing
you're
over
welcome.
the pictures and just this is fun. We wanted to share this with you guys as far as just what we kind of celebrate, and especially like our city. They are very because we're very cultural. Our city's very cultural, and so we do have a Day of the Dead festivities going on at the end of that starts kind of like the end of October, and so we have like a little gathering and as the Day of the Dead approaches. So it's a little festival that they have downtown. Really fun. Went to it I think last year, a couple years. It was really cute. I didn't even know we had it. And then they started to finally like promote it more, I guess. And so they had bands and stuff, but it was really cute. We got to put names on the little candles or the altars, and everybody kind of made their own altar of their relatives. So it's really, really cute.
Well, that's something that has changed, because when I was growing up, there really, like, anything that had to do with your being Hispanic and being, from any kind of culture like that, they try to wipe away. It's like I remember getting in trouble for speaking Spanish. I remember getting in trouble for any kind of stuff. And we had our grandparents who lived at home with us still at that time. So I was very, very bilingual. That's why my dad was like, "You used to speak Spanish all the time, like just blah, 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 but it's like I got in trouble at school, so it was almost like had to be wiped away from my memory, memory banks, because I would literally get in trouble. Now our grandchildren, they are teaching it in the schools. So now they're like,
amazing.
Now they're asking for pictures from from the great grandparents to take and things like that, and I think that's good. And I learning the, I guess, the scripture behind, because the days that you were talking about, like in the candles and doing the prayers and what you're trying to do and everything, it's all tied back to the baptism and things like that. And learning that too, where I worked at, it made a big difference. And I also feel the necessity for your spirit when you're missing them. If you're not going to the cemetery, if you're not, and you want to do something to honor them, the altar, a lot of times people go, "Oh, it's kind of a scary thing," because it has been connotated in the movies and things like that as something bad, when it really isn't. It's something to honor them. And so I find it comforting now, and I find it comforting that the grandkids, like, they want to just remember just for the little while, and have that. And so I think that was one of the things that I did enjoy when we went to work where we were working at, because we would build this huge one. It was like 4 or 5 tiers up, because it was a school. So we had a huge one, and everybody from the school, the workers, everybody would bring them, bring pictures and do all that kind of stuff. And you would, people, we had chairs there, and people would pray. Some people would write little love notes to their family members, and we had different multiple things for them to do. And it was very, very comforting to do that. It was.
And it's nice, like you say, like how, especially with your grandkids, how like the schools are starting to do that. And now it's really nice that now, like in corporate America, a lot of these companies are starting to be more like inclusive and celebrating, whether it's, Asian American, National Hispanic, or African American, right? And they're very big, especially where my company is, when it falls within that time frame, that they're very big on bringing in speakers for that particular nationality. And so like right now it's National Hispanic, month, so they might have like last year they had Gloria Estefan's husband come and speak. This year they're having Maria Celeste Araras, like celebrities, people that we see on TV or people that wrote books, and just celebrating the culture. And they'll do things within the company, like come and have a free breakfast or whatever, something for that particular nationality or culture. And it's nice that a lot of companies are doing that to be inclusive and not shy away, right? When we couldn't speak, like you say, when growing up, now it's more celebrated, more welcomed. So it's really, really nice. But so it was just nice, talking about this. And like I said, it was just for us, we only did the same thing of we only did the cemetery that 1 year. And when I saw the movie Coco, and they were doing the whole celebration leading up to it and everything, and the big old altars that you see, and learning that especially in Mexico, they really it's more of in grandeur, right?
Exactly,
They really
yeah.
go to more lengths in celebrating. And I really felt like, oh my God, I've dropped the ball. And my departed loved ones, like they think I've forgotten. Like
Yeah.
it really kind of like, I felt bad. Yes, it hit me hard.
Totally understand. Yeah, totally
It hit me
understand.
hard. I was like, oh my God. Like I remember my dad, I remember my grandmother, my great aunt, you know, and yes, we have other family members, but I was like, oh my God, I don't normally stand on a big old altar. I don't do this, I don't do that. And I felt like, oh my gosh, they feel that they're forgotten and they're really not.
Well,
Yeah.
that scene, I mean, the scene where the gentleman's, I don't remember what his name is, that he disappeared because nobody remembered him,
Yes,
nobody came.
yes.
Oh, it like broke my heart. I was like, oh.
I
you
know.
Yeah.
Just seeing that, I was like, oh my gosh, do I have family members like that
That
too
have
that are starting to
disappeared?
disappear because I have forgotten them? And then what was the abuelita, right? The abuelita, the grandmother, she was this, to me, she was like the spitting image
Yeah.
of my grandmother. She was like just the face and the
Same
wrinkles
thing
and
with
stuff.
mine, yeah.
Like it just reminded you of your grandma. I was like, oh my God, I'm watching a movie literally of like my grandmother, right? Like I was like, oh my gosh. But yes, that scene with where he was starting to disappear, and I was like, and I don't want to be forgotten either, right?
I was like, I don't want them to forget me.
Remember me.
I was like, I'm not like my mom. You need to come visit me at the party. Bring me flowers.
Do something. Well, these were good memories, amigas. Thank you for sharing that. And so now let's do something fun.
Yes.
Yes. And so our little twist on the Day of the Dead is actually, let's talk about the return of the bag. What handbag has been retired? What handbags are like dead out there from some of these design houses that we enjoy? What handbags were previously released that were retired that we would love to see back? Maybe the exact same thing, or maybe even just tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
So we thought it would be fun, just as our little play on the Day of the Dead, to kind of have this fun little topic to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and share what handbags we would like to see returned and brought back to life, right? What disappeared that we want to come back?
I know what I want.
Okay.
Okay, so it's actually a bag that I have, but because I'm so paranoid of me destroying it or messing it up, it just makes me wish that maybe they can bring it back.
Okay.
And there's two. So one is the watercolor Speedy. I wish they would make, you know, that's Richard Prince, I think. Yeah, Richard Prince. My flower's falling out.
Oh, yeah.
And I want them to bring out one, because I have the brown one that's watercolor and the white one. I don't have the white one. I purchased it one time and then I ended up returning it, or selling it, I'm sorry. And I would love for them to bring back that white Louis Vuitton watercolor bag in the Speedy again. I just think that was just one of the most beautiful bags that I've seen, the print that I've seen that Louis Vuitton's ever made. And I don't know, there's something about that bag.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
and-
this one here.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now I know what you're talking
I mean,
about.
it is gorgeous, and I
pretty
want
pretty.
the Speedy one. And, this one's cute, the Papillon, but the Speedy one is just stunning.
Well, I like the white background.
Yeah, the white one.
Because it has like the oranges. And
I mean, it is so
this
pretty.
one's pretty too, with this more rainbow kind of
Yes.
effect. That's pretty.
But when I purchased it, it was a 35, and I used it for a little bit, and I was getting ready. You know, I used it, and I wanted to see if I liked it, and I wasn't really consistent with doing my videos, so I
Yeah.
never got to release it. But I wasn't sure if I was going to keep it, so I thought, you know, I don't even want to release the video, but because it was big. But then I got compliments on it all the time, but it was just too big. You know, I
Yeah.
didn't want to carry something
Yeah.
that.
It's a suitcase.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's such a big difference between the 35 and the 30.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up selling it, and I ended up getting the Pochette Matisse,
Okay.
the
Okay.
pink one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I love that one, but I still miss, because I felt like it was art.
Yeah.
You know, you can place it on a shelf,
Yeah.
and I just felt like it was nothing but art. It was gorgeous. So I
And
did
in what
miss.
size? And what size would you want that one?
I would want it in a 25, maybe. I
Yeah,
think
that'd be cute.
25 would be
That would be
great.
cute.
Yeah. And I actually have another bag that I thought was cute. And this is a Louis Vuitton bag also. they're all 3 loaded.
I think all of mine are as well.
Yeah, so I would like the cherries, the bag with the cherry prints all over it.
Yeah.
The Murakami, I love that one. I have the 25, but I'm also paranoid that if I use it, that I will not be able to get one in the shape that I have. Because both of those bags that I have are in great condition.
Gotcha.
And they're both, the cherry bag is already 20 years old, because I think it's from 2003. And the watercolor one is from 2008.
Wow.
I think so. Yeah, I just have them on the shelf, and I do use them once in a while. And you can see people are like, especially with the watercolor one. I mean, people were like, "Oh my God, that's a unicorn bag." I said, "I know." That's the problem, because it's a unicorn bag, and that brown one's actually really expensive. Like when you go online, it's more than the white one. So when you like on eBay, when I used to look for it in other websites as well. So, but yeah, and then I brought this up the other day. That I think the Neverfull, bring it back without the pouch and bring the price down. Bring the price down, okay?
Yeah.
Make the bag. I mean, we don't need the pouch.
Yeah, I would agree with that one.
Bring it back
I
without
agree
it.
with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's neither here nor there, right? Like, I mean, I have it. You put stuff in there, but do I really need
Do
it?
you need it?
Because you have a bunch of other. You've got a bunch of other
I
pouches
got all
already in
these
the
other
box.
pouches, SLGs, whatever, and I actually love the Neverfull. It's such an amazing bag. Like I have 2 right now. I got 2.
I just wish
2
the
or 3.
strap. I wouldn't mind if they brought it back without the pouch, but make the strap a little bit
little bit
longer.
longer.
Give me a little bit more room. Yeah.
I don't know. It's my first one that I had. I carried that Neverfull like all the time. I loved it so much. I mean, it's an amazing bag. You know, I didn't have to worry about it. I would take it on the airplane, kick it underneath the seat, and it still looked the same. It never looked bad. It always looked good.
Yeah.
So, you know,
So
and it's heavy duty. Stick
Yeah,
your laptop in there. You can carry a lot in there. It's a
Yes,
great bag.
it does.
Yes, it's everywhere, but I don't care.
It's a good bag. It's a good bag. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why everybody has it.
Yeah,
Because
lower
they know
the
that's a good one.
price, take the pouch out. But
Because
if
you can't really attach a strap to it. You're
No.
rather
Yeah.
worthless.
Yeah.
If I could make it into a crossbody, I get it. Because especially they turn around and sell it.
Yeah.
A lot of people turn
Yeah.
around and sell it. Yeah. Dee Dee, what do you want to see returned
Well,
to life?
Return to life. Mine are all Junie's. All 3
Okay.
of the items are Junie items. Junie and Burke. In case y'all don't know, it's Junie and Burke. So the first thing would be we're twinning on the silhouettes is the Junie and Burke, the all-weather leather line back in the 80s, but in the hunter green, that dark hunter green of the satchel, which is like the speeding. You know?
okay, yeah.
And probably the same size, I guess, 20, 25, something like that is probably the size, because that was my high school bag that, I think I've said it before in here, that the mean girl said I couldn't afford, because I didn't even know where to
You're
get
like,
it from.
F you.
Yeah, exactly. But that green, that hunter green is such a pretty color, and it is a dated color. I mean, if you look at it, it is a dated color.
It was a pretty color.
But it's a beautiful color. So that would be like probably the number one. I don't believe it or not. The number 2 thing would be their denim. Okay, I have a lot of collection in my collection, the Junie denim. I do have the vintage Junie denim, but I would love an updated of any of them of the denim. The traditional ones that they have, because I have several of them. I have one that's like the banana bag that has the red trim on it. I have some that has like the vachetta is dark. I have some that have the light. And I even have a backpack. The backpack. Oh my gosh. A Junie backpack. And let me tell you.
I can see it in your,
Yes,
I
did do a live on that one. We kind of compared that one to the backpack that Louis Vuitton brought out this time for the Marc Jacobs one. This Dooney backpack, the straps came undone. They unhook. Yeah. Yeah. So you can take it off. It's got a top handle. I mean, it's just a great bag. It's like, why are we not bringing it back? Why we don't have that? You're bringing all these other ones and they don't, let it be multi-purpose. So, but the denim and the line itself, I just want it all. All the line, bring me something. And then I also would like them to bring back their accessories, like I found a makeup case.
Okay.
That like a makeup tray case, where you open it up and it has the things that come out and stuff.
For Dooney?
From Dooney,
Wow.
yeah. And I found it, and it's missing the inside parts, but everything else is there. And they had like little leather, a little leather strapping where you could put all of your makeup brushes and things like that in it. Yeah, it's really neat. So they used to do just really neat stuff. The other day I found Dooney hats, and the hats, I'm not sure if y'all saw, I did a live not too long ago. They had Dooney hats. They were really cute. In my community post I put pictures. They're gorgeous.
I'll have to look in your community.
Yeah, so they're gorgeous. So it's like, why don't they need to do more of that stuff? Especially if right now they're doing some kind.
Tone it down a little. We're recording.
Whisper inside voices, church voices. It was like, because right now Dooney's kind of doing some changes. Like we've discovered that depending on where they're made, the tags are no longer being put in all the bags. I discovered that.
You mean inside the bag?
Inside the bag, the Dooney authentication thing. Yep.
Okay.
They are changing their repairs warranty, like because they used to guarantee everything like for life.
Yeah.
And they're kind of tweaking that, changing that. There's some other things that they're changing too, and we're like, what's going on? What's going on? And so I'm like, okay, if you're hurting for money, I don't know how they could be, but if you're hurting for money, bring these other things back. Like they had this really cool. Kind of like a Western belt that had Dooney on it, that has Dooney on it. It was part of another bag. Make that belt strap separately. Let us buy that. I would pay, Dooney, but I would pay like $120. I pay $200 just for that strap, because it's
Does
like.
someone have that strap and it says Dooney on it? Who
Yes,
has that?
Andrea from AKB Bags, she has
That's
one.
who has it.
She has one. And
She
then,
talked about it the other day.
and also She Says What has one too, I believe. But I don't know if she gave it away or if I don't remember if she still has it in her collection. But yeah, I have searched and searched for that, and I still haven't found it. That's on my list of trying to find things, But yeah, that's one of the things. It's like, why? If you're struggling and you want to bring things back, then bring those good things back. Bring those good things back. Just like you were saying with LV or whatever. So
I've never seen a string case.
So those are my.
Those are some good
Those
ones.
are my picks.
Okay.
Well, some of them look like a Dooney train case.
See, this is the one that I have.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Is that on eBay? That might be the one I bought.
Offer up.
Offer.
Oh, you bought one already?
I did. I have one. The problem is that the lock broke. So I think when they sold it to me, they had fixed it just enough to sell it because immediately when I got it, it had broken. I was like, So before Dooney changes their policies, I need to get it in there for them to fix it.
I wish they would make bags that were more raw on the inside, raw leather.
Oh,
like they
with the
used to
suede,
have it
yeah.
back then,
Yeah.
I really like that.
So I was like, I think I have a couple on there. And I don't mind that as long as they are finished out, and usually and they would finish.
And they
them
don't
out.
they don't dye your stuff because I know.
Oh yeah. But usually they just leave it the color of whatever the hide is. If you keep it that color, then
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
And you, ma'am?
So I actually, like Delene, I actually have Louis Vuitton bags that I would like to come back to be revived. The one that I like, and I'm waiting for this one to come back out. I don't remember the name of the one that they just released, but it's similar to the St. Cloud. I love the St. Cloud, and it's just kind of like got a square top, and then it kind of goes down. But I want the one that has the back pocket. I liked that one, and I missed at the time. I really, to me, I felt like I couldn't afford them back then when I think that one came out. But now I saw one.
If you only knew.
See how it's this style here?
Yes,
I love those.
With the back pocket. There's the smaller size, and then there's like a back pocket. And somebody posted one on Instagram recently where they completely like refurbished it. They took it in and then they
had to
redid the leathers,
yeah.
but it didn't have the back pocket. And I was like, no, never mind, because I like a back pocket for the phone,
I do
Yes,
like
right?
it, yeah.
So was it
it's a cute
did
one.
they not put the back pocket or?
It was the smaller mini size,
it
and that
was
person
have
was
it.
reselling it, yeah.
Gotcha,
And so I was like,
gotcha.
no, I want the other
size
size.
up,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just loved it. I think it was cute that it's got the crossbody strap, so I thought it was nice. The other one was it's an LV recital. It's a recital mini bag,
I don't
RECITAL,
know if I've ever heard of that
and
one.
it's a cute little mini bag. And
Found it.
yes, that little cutie.
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
flap goes like
Yes.
I've
this.
actually
Yes.
seen. I've seen those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought them so
And
cute.
See
Velvet
that
on the
that
inside.
that's
Mhm.
yeah.
That little
Yes.
red. Yes.
I like that flap. Is it magnets or is it just a flap?
I don't know.
You don't
my
know.
mother. So the reason why I wanted is because my mother-in-law had that one. I think it was. And I always try to buy it off of her. I was like, when you're tired of this handbag, like sell it to me. But she.
Hey,
but it's so
not
cute.
too bad. $7.80.
I know.
$8.95.
I might need to.
You might
yes,
have to.
Exactly. And then the other one that I used to, so the LV Bloomsbury, they released it in the Damier event, and that one had Bloomsbury, and so that one actually had a front back pocket.
Bloomsbury PM.
Bloomsbury, yes, that one there.
Oh, yes.
But if they
My
only
sister-in-law
released
has
it,
that.
they only released it in that print. I would have loved it in an LV,
LV.
print because I
Oh,
love the
yeah,
back
yeah, yeah.
pocket. And the
See,
one,
I
so-
like this pleating. This is what I was talking to you
Yes.
about. How when I like the pleating,
Yeah.
like the pull-in, how it has those kinds of
Uh-huh.
pleating and stuff. The Trivoli, I love. That's the one.
Triple, yes.
That's
Yes.
the PM. I really wanted Trivoli in a PM.
So keep that one up. Keep that
Okay.
one up. So this is okay. So when I went into Louis Vuitton, my husband, we were in out in like DC because we
I've
were there
always
for
liked
a
that
yellow
one.
ribbon, and this is the one I really wanted. This is the Louis Vuitton Mabillon.
I
Mabillon,
remember
however you pronounce it.
yeah, yeah.
And it had the front back pocket. And I liked it because it was
Yes.
crossbody, and so I could easily put my phone because you could. This was open right here in the
Yes.
front part. And I was ready to buy that sucker because again tax
And then
was cheaper
it
there.
went away.
And then it went, and so I was already gonna get that one, and then I saw that one, and at the time the Pachette Matisse came out, and she was like, I have the Pachette Matisse if you want that one. I was like, and I still kind of deviate from accordion bags. I don't like this.
Oh, yeah.
Give me one big section.
Yeah,
Give me
yeah,
one big
yeah,
opening.
yeah, yeah.
And so
Yeah.
then I had the two, and my cousin was living in DC at the time, and so I sent her the picture, and she was like, "I love Bloomsbury and this and that." She always goes for the Damier Bin print,
Oh,
and she was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"I would go for that one," and I listened to her,
Oh, even
and
though
I
you
was
didn't-
like, even though my
Oh.
heart really was for this the LV monogram print,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Well, okay," so I went ahead and I bought that one, and it's convenient because of the front back pocket, but that leather always pulled. And our culture, we get the skin tags.
Yes, yes.
And so it would always like pull on the skin tag and even if it didn't pull on the side, it just always left like a red mark from when
Yeah.
I was carrying it. And then I thought to give it to my mom, but I was like, if it's bugging me, it's gonna bug her because that leather is not
It's not
soft on that
soft
Damier.
at
It was
all.
not soft at all.
Yeah.
So I ended up selling that one, but to this day I regret. So I wish if they would have come out with the Bloomsbury, but in the LV monogram print or maybe a Damier Azur print,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would probably would have
Yeah.
Go for it,
gone
yeah.
yeah. So I would love for them to revive
I
it.
remember wanting that bag,
In
and when I
those-
was ready to get it, it was gone. And I was so disappointed because I love that pocket.
It was so
there.
convenient with a pocket.
And look how
Yeah.
cute it looks.
It is.
It actually has a really cute
And to this
look.
day, I'm like, why the hell didn't I get it? Because it's just gonna be cheaper than this $14.35. It doesn't mean full and fashion.
Yeah, that pocket is like the Potet machine.
Yeah.
Motif.
Pochette
But how do you
Motif,
say it?
yes,
The
yes.
PM. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. So I'm like, nah, I regret it. But hopefully, maybe they'll bring one of those back. But those would be the ones that I would love to see it revived. brought
You
back.
know what would be great is if these companies would do customer picks. Like if they would say, hey, and then people would vote to see what bag they would want to
Why
bring
don't
back.
we do
that?
That'd be a good
Yeah.
idea.
Brilliant, boom, brilliant, We need to be their marketers,
We
know?
should.
We need to
We
do their
should.
marketing for them.
Well, this was a fun topic of
Yes.
conversation, amigas.
Yeah.
Thank you, amigas, for sharing the mementos that you brought and the stories of your loved ones, and have some fun conversation of these handbags that we would love to see brought back. So for those of you watching, let us know if you celebrate the Day of the Dead or what you do to honor your departed loved ones, and let us know which handbags you would love to see brought back from your favorite designer. Maybe we have the same ones, but we'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'd love to see which ones you think should be revived and brought back to life, because that might intrigue us and we might be interested in that handbag as well.
And usually, if you just search hard enough and long enough, you usually can find it on the pre-loved market.
Yes.
If they don't bring it back.
Exactly. And just so y'all know, our little fun, refreshing drink that we're having here is our little lemonade with some like mango puree or fresh strawberries for Didi and I. Deline has just fresh strawberries and some chamoy and some tajin. So we're going to share that recipe with you for this fun little refreshing drink. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. And so thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you so much for joining us for today's Table Talk Thursday. Our next Table Talk Thursday will be on Deline's channel. So be sure you are subscribed to Deline's channel, mine as well if you're not already, and Didi's. And so be on the lookout for the next video for Table Talk Thursday that will be on Deline's channel. And we hope to see you then. Until next time, amigos, bye-bye. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Besos.
Dining in Gucci, with Mrs. Versace. Spend that, custom made, this square, then you go, show it up.